What's up, everybody? It has been a minute since I've been on camera filming with some of these cars. We did have the Cybertruck down at Sand Hollow in southern Utah bombing around. But I am excited to be with you on this glorious northern Utah day. Doesn't feel like we're still in the winter because it's like 65 and sunny out, which is literally perfect for me. I love global warming. Let's go. Speaking of global warming, let's talk about my Lamborghini LP640 Roadster manual. I think my absolute favorite design from Lamborghini is the Murcielago. It has just aged so phenomenally well. This interesting wedge shape coming back, the wings that kind of pop up in the back, and then I am personally partial towards the LP640. There's a bump in power. There's a different kind of body kit on it that I strongly prefer. But the real reason why I bought this car is because of the rarity factor. So this car, one, I love the color on it. This is Grigio and Terrace over a red and black interior. Come check this thing out. I'm a sucker for red interiors. In fact, the Sequoia parked behind me, guess what color the interior is on that? It's red. I have loved red interiors since I was like a little kid, even when they weren't that popular. This car with the Grigio and Terrace over the red and black interior, the diamond stitching, it also has like, I think 5,000 or 6,000 miles. Like this is a very low mileage example. This is a blue chip collectible car. When it winds up in Supercar Ron's hands though, it doesn't just sit, right? It doesn't sit in the garage, it doesn't sit in a collection. We drive the heck out of this thing. And the reason why I love it the most though, look down right here. This is a 1 of 10 Lamborghini Murcielago Roadster in manual. There are only 10 of these in existence. I have one right here in Utah. Really, you should go back to, this is gonna be a cold start, right? It's a cold start with a Kriesig exhaust. That's the only modification on this LP640 of mine. You gotta hear this thing. So my very first Lamborghini was an LP 560-4 Gallardo, right? It was white over black, gorgeous car. In fact, I think they've gone up in value quite a bit recently. E-gear, which is not my favorite, if I'm being totally honest, but they made like very few Gallardos as they did Murcielagos in manual. For whatever reason, all these car manufacturers have gone away for the most part from manual transmission cars, and I love manuals. I mean, like, you just feel connected to the road. I feel more in control of the car. It's I don't know, it's just like a part of me, and I learned that like very first car was a manual transmission, my Toyota 4Runner. So like when there is the option, like with the Koenigsegg, like I could have purchased any other Koenigsegg, but the Koenigsegg that I bought was the CCXR in manual because I wanted to experience that car in a manual transmission because I just think it's more special, right? And because they're so limited now, the values have gone through the roofs. Like this is a 7-figure car at this point. Where just 3 or 4 years ago, this was probably $500,000, you know? So the values have climbed really rapidly. I could see these cars because of the rarity factor, because of the V12 that revs to 8,500 RPMs. There's so much amazingness about these cars that there's a reason why they're climbing in value and they're becoming this generation's collector cars. I've had the Gallardo, I've had multiple Huracans. I never had the Murcielago until this one entered the garage just 2.5 months ago. And I gotta be honest, I wasn't sure what I was missing, and now I know. Part of the problem why I didn't have one is in the coupes, I had a harder time fitting. Like my head is kind of in the roof liner, but even in the Huracans, my head is into the roof liner. So having a Roadster like this where there is no roof is, it just makes life a lot easier when you're 6'3", 6'4", and you're fitting into a car that was made for little Italian guys. There's Nothing like a freeway pole hopping on the freeway. We ready? Traffic. Hey, so we're kind of stuck in a whole bunch of traffic right now. But do you know what's even better than the Murci in the day in traffic? Is the Murci at night without any traffic. Check this out. Okay guys, so here's the thing about the Murcielago Roadsters. Their tops are basically useless. So we just drive around without the top on. Today, the forecast was sunny all day long, and now look what's happening. We got rain hitting the windshield. It is raining. We're going fast enough, I think, that the rain's gonna just hopefully just wash over the top of us, wash over the top.
We'll be fine.
Everything.
I think the car will live.
It's fine. It's all fine. We're all fine. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Like honestly, this LP640 Roadster in manual is one of the best cars that I've ever owned. Probably a top 3 car. It makes me want another one, you know?
Hey, so we're with someone who might know a little bit about Lambos. Just happened to be in town.
Hey.
Ed, the man. So funny story, we actually ran into, we were at the off-road games down in St. George 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
And just so happens that you were visiting Warehouse this week. 2 weeks later, I was like, dude, Ed the man, he's in town.
So much Utah time.
And so, of course, we had to bring the manual LP640, which Ron added into the stable just a few months ago. So it's very timely that you're here.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you're here for Pagani Donuts or Cybertruck Destruction, you've come to the wrong place today. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a lesson on how awesome this car is, because it happens to be my favorite car ever made. There's plenty of great stuff out there that's more valuable, but this is the greatest thing out there. And even people that have driven Zondas and everything else that's got a great manual transmission and manual Koenigsegg's and things like that, they all agree manual LP640s are better. But it doesn't matter how many of them agree, because you cannot find them ever. It was amazing that this car came up for sale through Curated, and it's awesome to see today. This is the first time I've ever seen this one in person. Now, there are only 10 of these for the US market, only 16 worldwide. There's one in Canada, one in Australia, one in Japan, one in South Africa, one in Saudi Arabia. So these things, you just never ever see them. Now there's plenty of LP640s, but we say that there's only 425 LP640 Roadsters with E-Gear transmissions. So these are rarer than Ferrari 16Ms, 599 GTOs, a lot of cars that we treat as super special, super limited quantity, but this is unobtainium, rarer than, let's say, a Hemi Cuda convertible, which has always been regarded as the most legendary muscle car of all time. This thing, you just can't find them. So it's so cool that Ron was able to buy it, and it is the only one in this color combination. I am a sucker for Italian cars in gray over red. It's got the Alcantara inserts, and to me, what's most cool about it is it really is a driver car. I think the manual LP640 is the ultimate driver supercar, and the fact that this one's got a few miles on it, is ready to accept some more, I think it's just ideal, and it fits in perfectly with all the hypercars that you're used to seeing on this channel. Now we can look around it a little bit, and everybody's generally familiar with what the Murcielago is, but fortunately they're having an amazing moment in the market. Now this car has got what we call a Sportivo interior, meaning it's a two-tone interior. You could also get them on the Roadsters with different color seats. So if you remember the car from Batman Begins, it had one brown seat and one black seat, so you could make the driver's seat more special, but more commonly, this is what you saw. This is also an ad personam order for 2008, which is the model year this car is. They made them 07, 08, and 09, but in the US we got no 07s. And so you were able to do what's called inverted stitching, black on the red, red on the black. It's got the full interior carbon package, which for 08 included the base of the steering wheel. The factory immobilizer is still functional, meaning that you have to press the unlock button every time you start it. On mine, generally those are broken. That tends to happen. It's got the carbon fiber air diffuser for the top of the windscreen, and it is the only Grigio Antares over black and red car for the entire world. There is a Canadian coupe in that color combination, which is excellent. But again, what we love is obviously that gated shifter. You got the Alcantara steering wheel. There's only a couple of them that have the transparent engine bonnet for the Roadsters. Mine happens to be one of them, but mine's also been crashed 3 times, and so that's okay. Mine's Nero Nemesis. There's a duplicate of my car in Seattle that's owned by a billionaire there that has 5 manual LP640s. So in addition to the 10 US Roadsters, there are 23 US coupes, which is a super cool thing. They're all plenty rare because everybody was just chasing that latest performance with their flappy paddle gearboxes. And it's not that the E-Gear cars are bad. They're still plenty cool, certainly of the moment to experience. The SVs still have great value, but to me, there is just nothing better than a propagated manual LP640.
Nice, perfect. Well, hey, now that we've talked about it, why don't we actually go out and drive this thing?
There we go. You owe a ride to our proprietor here, Mr. Wolf, because I am looking at something that might maybe sell one of my 3, and I think him loving this car might put him over the edge.
Oh yeah, Daddy. One thing I forget every single time I drive this car.
I owned one of these cars and I forget that.
Did you just do it too?
Yeah.
Every single time I get in, I go, oh, the seatbelt's not there, and then I go over here.
Yeah.
This back road is completely wide open, and it's like a little too wide open that we might get into a little bit of trouble. But that just means it's going to be more fun.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like crack.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, that's a police.
Oh, that is Hey, we're in the Mexico part of Park City. It's all good.
Yeah.
We hosted a police event the other week.
Oh,
so
perfect.
They like us. They know where we're at.
Back the blue, baby.
Yeah.
But 2 legs in is actually the move on this. Wow, dude, I actually can't believe you let me sit. Dude, you can get in? Barely, you gotta go 2 legs first. There we go. Oh my gosh, dude. This is unbelievable. This is like, that's where he sat. This is like one of those come to Jesus moments. You're like, wow, this is it. Wow, dude. I think this is the coolest car I've sat in ever.